Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Conquest Productions 117. My name is Darren, and today I made a tier list on every G.I. Joe fighter jet or plane. I'm only doing aircraft that are planes or look like a plane. The tiers are I want this, deserves to be on a flag, I like this, meh, and why do they need this? Let's start with the lowest one on why do they need this, because I generally do not know why they need this. So one of them is the G.I. Joe Mud Fighter. And honestly, I don't even know why this thing exists. I've only seen this once in real life, and it felt kind of cheaply plastic. The cockpit felt rubbery. This was at a vintage toy shop in Chicago when I was visiting, and honestly, I don't see the appeal. I don't even know why G.I. Joe has it. It's supposed to be a low ground attack fighter or bomber, basically the role of an A-10, but in Tiger Force they were using the Cobra Rattler, which that also makes no sense. Why are they using recycled Cobra vehicles? Those things suck and they get shot down easily. Plus, Cobra and Python Patrol are using the Conquest. So why would you need a Rattler? The Rattler is going to get shot down by that Conquest. Another thing is the X-Wing. I don't really see the appeal to this. Like, the X-Wing is just... I'm surprised they didn't get sued, but it's a weird idea where the military wanted to make a plane turn into a helicopter, and I don't even see the aerodynamics. I could see it as a helicopter, maybe. The aerodynamics make no sense. I don't even know why Duke or Hawk would want this. Another one is a Cobra vehicle, the Stiletto. I just don't get this thing, and I don't get why they need it if they already have multiple spaceships, so, yeah. Next one is a F-22 that's a two-seater and has a missile. I don't know the name of this. I just saw it, knew it was G.I. Joe, and thought, that looks stupid. Sorry, but it's probably a good toy. I haven't encountered it, but I just am like, what's the point? It's supposed to be a stealth fighter. And not only is that thing going to weigh too much, it's way too dang small. So, yeah. And I already talked about why do they need the Cobra Rattler or the Tiger Rat? It's just a repainted Cobra Rattler. They don't need it. That thing is just going to fail like the other Cobra Rattlers have. So anyway, let's go up to meh. Also, if you notice these bottom things, that was because I accidentally copied them too close together, so yeah. But the meh section has the G.I. Joe Battle Force 2000 Vector. It's a meh for me because it looks a lot like the Phantom X-19, but it doesn't, and it has a huge turret on the back that kind of makes it look goofy. So it's a meh for me because I don't hate it, but I don't like it. The Trouble Bubble is also a meh because I don't see the point of it. I don't even get why Cobra uses them. Like, come on, just stick with fire bats. Those things seem pretty cheap enough. Anyway, another meh is the G.I. Joe Falcon glider and the Cobra glider, whatever they called it. This was just a toy made for children who weren't able to get a Sky Striker and it could actually fly. The only good thing about this, in my opinion, is the camouflaged grunt figure, because I love camo figures. But anyway, it's not a bad idea, it's just good luck finding one in functioning conditions. Okay. On to I like this. This has, well, that's the original, one of the originals, 12-inch G.I. Joe fighters that they used. I included this just because. So I think that looks pretty good. I don't know how much it was in 1960, but I assume it was a lot. Then we have the Cobra. I forgot what that thing was called, but anyway, that thing is basically just a shark to me, except it could come off and go into a submarine. I don't get the appeal, but I like it. It looks like a pretty cool design, but I still don't get what it's meant for. Anyway, then we have the Cobra Claw. I think that's probably the most realistic jetpack ever, since you can glide on it, and I loved when G.I. Joe Berg actually used that as a drone. I think that was very smart. Anyway. Next one is the G.I. Joe's Shuttle Complex or the Defiant. I I like it, but it's too big. I've encountered this also in a same shop in Chicago when I visited up there, but it's just it's a bit too big. I like it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very nice, looks very nice, It's just a bit too big, and there's ads popping up on my site that I'm using. Right. On to the Cobra Condor. I like it because it's basically just a replacement for the Night Raven. But as Gio Joburg said in their video, that like some of the beefier characteristics make it unaerodynamic, but it's a cool looking jet. I've never encountered this in real life though, so yeah. Then we have the Conquest X30 Python Patrol version. This is a good idea in my opinion. Like Cobra stole a bunch of G.I. Joe Conquest X30s, made their own livery, and they stole like 3 squadrons, so that makes a lot more sense to me. And like makes better sense than G.I. Joe reusing Cobra Rattlers. Just, anyway. Also, I'm going to touch on this at the end where we have custom vehicles. I'm going to touch on that at the end. So shout out to those people who did custom vehicles, baby. Next section deserves to be on the flag, the Phantom X19. If you've seen my channel, you know I reviewed this, and on the stop motion, I showed this profusely because I really enjoy it. It's a very fun toy. I recently added those 3D printed upgrades from Thingiverse because I was missing those wing attachments. Yeah. Then we have, I'm just going to call it the F-23 because that's all it is. It's the F-23, and it deserves to be on the flag because it looks very good, and that's based on a realistic fighter. But the thing that confuses me is this thing wasn't revealed to the public. Same thing with the Phantom X19 with the F-19, and somehow a toy company that was trying to get kids, I guess, into the military to buy their toys based on the military were given secret access to government vehicles. So, yeah. Anyway, now we have the Shark. This thing, I've also touched on the repaints somewhat, except for Sky Striker, because that thing has way too many repaints. Anyway, sorry, but the Shark. This is a very, very nice thing. I've encountered it also in real life. Very sturdy, and I found it for a couple on eBay for pretty reasonable prices, and I might get it, hopefully, if all goes to plan. This thing looks very nice. I still don't get the feature of it becoming a submarine. Like, I could see it as a submersible, but also as a flying vehicle is that's just fiction, but at least it works underwater. The next one is the Cobra Hurricane, or Hurricane, however you pronounce it, a VTOL aircraft, and from what I've said is the replacement for the Cobra Rattler and the Cobra Firebat, which I've just noticed I don't have. Do I have it? I don't think I have. I removed it originally, I think. Anyway, this thing, very good. I've never seen it in real life. I've only seen the G.I. Joburg review. So I think it looks pretty nice, and it looked pretty strong plastic. I know during the later years, the G.I. Joe plastic got a little weaker. So yeah. Also forgot to mention, I could find a F-23 and you can find these for pretty cheap on eBay, or reasonable prices. Not this, though, somehow. Like, most of the time they're disassembled. Anyway. On to Sky Patrol. I'm going to give you a little bit of lore on Conquest Productions. Originally, I was making my own little comics, because that's what you do when you don't have a phone. And I made my own comic series called Airstrike, which was supposed to be only the Air Force of G.I. Joe. I didn't know about Sky Patrol at the time. I did not know they existed, so I called it Airstrike, and it was led by Ace. They also had a dude, I forgot his name, and Karen. She was basically just a Karen. So yeah, and then Wild Weasel joined later, and then Scarlet and some other members from old G.I. Joe. Anyway, but this Night Raven, it's a beautiful aircraft. There's nothing to be said. I love the silver coloring. I still like the black coloring, how it's very reflective, but definitely the silver coloring. Like if that was the G.I. Joe vehicle and they had multiple versions, that would look very good. On to the next one, the Cobra Liquidator. I have found a couple of these for pretty reasonable prices on eBay, but all I've seen it, same thing with the YF-23, is I've seen them both as just kind of like squirt guns inside a toy. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very nice design, and I've seen this, and I always thought that was the plane from the opening pilot of G.I. Joe, the first episode. I always thought those were supposed to be the planes. It was just like 10 or 12 years short. So yeah, but very nice design, and It's based on that one Swedish 1950s Delta jet. I don't know what it's called. On to the next one, the Sky Patrol Shark. I love the chrome detail. If the shark wasn't already like a kind of sea or naval color, I think they should have always gone with the chrome. And skipping the customs for later. Now I want this, which, fun fact, I've been looking for a Sky Striker for a while since I never owned one when I was younger. I found a couple on eBay that are incomplete. Voice crack is necessary, but I found a couple that are incomplete, and I've been waiting to jump the gun. I found one for $20, and it's just the shell. The mechanism still works, but there's no accessories, and I was going to replace the rest of the parts with 3D printing. I was going to consider that on a restoration part of my channel, since if you don't know, I'm doing restorations also, which, speaking of which, if you ever want me to restore your, I don't know, vintage G.I. Joe thing with 3D printed parts, if it's reasonable and if there's 3D printed downloaded parts, I could try and do it. Just shoot me an email. It's on my homepage anyway. Next one. Conquest X30. I'm called Conquest Productions 117 because of the Conquest X30. The 117 is just a reference to Halo, but it's... The Conquest X30 is just perfection. I'm sorry. But that's a beautiful fighter. There's nothing wrong with it. I know some people said it felt a little cheap. I've never encountered this. Like, I've encountered the boxes, and it boxed at the toy shop. I never asked to take it out. But that thing just screams G.I. Joe to me. Like, it screams that to me. So, yeah. On to the next one, the Cobra Rattler. What got me into G.I. Joe was the Michael Mercy video where he's reviewing the Rattler. That thing, like, that's what got me into G.I. Joe, mainly because I loved Wild Weasel's voice. I loved how the Rattler looked. The A-10 was one of my favorite ground attack fighters at the time, so just, this has been my most hunted thing. And I did find one in Chicago. I was going to buy it until I heard how the person selling it in Chicago wanted over $200 for it. It was complete, but I didn't have $200, so I couldn't do the deal. But I've found a couple for pretty cheap, and I can replace the parts with 3D printed parts, so yeah. Anyway, on to the Raven. Also encountered this at the hobby shop. All I can say about this is it's beautiful, just like as I said about the Sky Patrol livery. But the only thing I have to comment on is the little drone. So the way this hobby shop or this vintage toy shop in Chicago had it, they had it all up on shelves and other things. My voice is cracking. I'm in a garage and it's very hot, and I'm a little thirsty, so sorry about my voice cracks, guys. But the thing was up on high shelves, and at the time I was kind of short, so I tried grabbing it, and the drone or the little pod ended up falling off and hit the ground, and the snap apart pieces came off and it sounded like a flower pot just broke. I was able to put it back together and put it back on top, but that's the most memories I have, and I still think it's beautiful, and I found one that I hopefully can restore. In fact, I'm going to make a new segment on my channel is restorations, so you're probably going to see all of these 4 vehicles being restored. And if you're wondering, if you say there's 5, I'll touch on that later. Now, the X-16, pretty sure it's called the Ghost Striker. So a little bit of backstory. My mom, who is in the Air National Guard, during, I think, I don't know, sometime after 9/11, she was in Afghanistan, and she was allowed to be in an F-16 for a while now. I think in the 2-seater F-16. Now, this was very special for her, and she loves the F-16, which I can't blame her. The Viper it's a beautiful jet. And the X-16, the only thing I have to gripe about it is the landing gear, but that thing, I'd love to own it. It's beautiful, especially the Ace figure, how more realistic he looks. And that's just another perfection. So, anyway, on to the customs, the final bit. So, I've seen this custom where they take a Lightyear jet and make it into a classified series Sky Striker Phantom X-19 or a Baroness jet for the Baroness. I've never encountered this. I think I saw it once at Walmart, but I thought, okay, that's just a cheap toy. But now seeing these customs, I wish I would have jumped the gun. I mean, it's pretty cheap on Amazon, like $30. So I might customize that, but I'm not sure if I'm in the current financial position to do that because I'm saving up for the Sky Striker, Conquest, Rattler, and all five of these basically. I'm hopefully that's why I want those, and maybe even this one since I don't know what the mouse is touching, but these two mainly. So anyway, back on topic. So this F-22 looks like a Sky Striker. It's very beautiful. No offense, but it looks way more realistic than whatever this thing is. Oh yeah. Then here, if you notice, there's a Sky Striker. What? That's not supposed to be the main center of attention. It's supposed to be this F-18. So I own that F-18. I think it's Toy Heroes, or I don't know the brand name, but I own it. In fact, in the new trailer 2 for the G.I. Joe Classified, which will show a scene from for episode 1 that you guys will be able to see. Spoiler alert. But I own this. It's very sturdy. The only thing I have to complain about is on mine, my cockpit thing broke off. Clear plastic things suck. And my wing connectors, the plastic was kind of thin on mine, and they also broke. I think I actually dropped it too. Yeah. And before I even got that, the last one is this F-14 or A-14 by Hero Force or whatever they're called was my childhood Sky Striker. I never owned the Sky Striker as a child, so this was basically my substitute that I used. It could fold its wings back manually, and you had sounds. But other than that, it was kind of cheap. The plastic was very finicky, and I really didn't. I played with it a lot because I would keep the F-18 at one area in the backyard, and then I'd have the Sky Striker or the A-14 in another area. And usually this thing would get shot down or have to land to refuel, and then boom, pick up the F-18 and be like, okay, this is Ace and Maverick, because I had just seen Top Gun for the first time, and I painted the figures' helmets as Maverick and Goose. However, the Goose figure has been lost to time, so I just have the Maverick now. But I would put him like he would be taken out of this, get into that jet and be like, "Yo, Joe, let's go flying and kick more Cobra tails." So yeah. Anyway, that's my tier list and me talking about this. So please make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me if you agree with my tier list or where you would place it. Just these are all my opinion. I forgot to mention this. This is all my opinion. It does like you have your everyone has a right to their own opinion, and this is just my opinion. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the channel, and I'll catch you later.